Trying to start an online business and not even really sure what you need to do that? Do you already have an online business and it's not producing the results that you think that you should be seeing? Are you just curious about what it takes to start an online business and do it right? Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video because that's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video today. We're going to be covering the 7 critical foundational elements that are common in all successful online businesses. So if you have ever wanted to start your own online business, then this is what you're going to want to watch and pay attention to, because we're going to cover all 7 of these things in this video. And this can be revolutionary for your business, for your income, for the things that you're trying to achieve online. This can be a complete game changer. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. My name is Rob Orr, and I'm a web designer and developer who is focused on helping people build and launch successful online businesses. So if this has ever been something that you have wanted to do, then you're going to want to pay close attention to this video and the things that I cover here, because these are foundational. These are the 7 critical pillars of digital marketing, and we're going to cover them all in this video. This is the video that I created the other day when I was on Facebook. I created a Facebook Live video for this, and I want to put it here also for my YouTube subscribers so you guys can see what I'm doing over there. If you haven't joined my Facebook group, I really and strongly encourage you to go to digitalmarketingmasteryhq.com and go and sign up for the group. It's a place where we are people who are running online experiments, and we are doing tests, and we're trying to figure out all of the various different things that we need to be doing in our own businesses so that we can build our own online businesses. So if this is something that is interesting to you, I definitely want to see you over there. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Make sure that you hit like. Let me know in the comments what questions you have. So no more delays. We're ready to get started. Let's watch the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you are watching this live, you can leave a comment or a question in the chat box there, or if you're watching it on replay, let me know that you're seeing this on the replay. I'd love to hear your questions and thoughts, because I can come back and answer those questions too at a later time, so that you can come, we can keep this conversation going. So I wanted to hop on here and discuss this idea with you, because this is a really big kind of eureka kind of moment for me. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rob Orr, and I'm a web designer and developer, and I am the director of web design and development at a communications company here in town, in addition to all this stuff that I do with my business. I work on big websites. I work on rapid deployment websites. I work on blogs. I work on e-commerce stores. I do lots of stuff in web development. So there are there are all kinds of different sites that I've built over the years, from big HMO websites to websites that are, for the just getting started, mommy blogger who's trying to get started. And I got into doing this, around the time that my daughter was born, and because I wanted to do something different. I sent it out in the email. I made a post about it on Facebook. Also, just a little bit of background into my story. After I graduated from Florida State, I worked in sales for a long time, and I really hated that career as a whole. It was, something that just, it wasn't a right fit for me. I'll spare you all the gory details about what I didn't like about sales. And so anyway, fast forward several years, I've taught myself how to be a web developer. And because I wanted to start doing business online, I wanted to learn how things work online. And I wasn't sure where I needed to begin. So I figured I'm just going to teach myself web design. And over time, what I came to figure out is, there's a lot of different components that come together to make a successful online business. And, a lot of this stuff I figured out the hard way. I have made more mistakes than most, and I try to do my best to learn from those mistakes. But, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what this online business / digital marketing game is all about. My podcast is called Adventures in Digital Marketing. And the reason I decided to call it that is because it really is. It's kind of like an adventure. You don't know what's going to be next. You're always working and striving and trying to reach an objective. You're always trying to get to the next step and to make something happen, right? And so it's an adventure. There are experiments, there are successes, and there are failures, and all kinds of stuff in between. And so that's why I call it adventures, because I'm dictating and documenting, the things that I'm working on in my business so that everybody else can see what's going on. And learn from my mistakes, because if you're like me, watching over the shoulder somebody else who's doing this stuff and trying to learn it is a big help to kind of make shortcuts for yourself and to speed up the process. So anyway, this idea of the 7 pillars of digital marketing just kind of hit me like a storm several months ago. It was just like, all the lights came on in the room. The skies, the clouds parted, and the angels were singing, kind of, that eureka kind of moment where everything just kind of made sense. Because for years I have been trying to figure out what are the different things that I need to do to be successful online. I started trying, years ago, started in e-commerce and did a lot of work in that, trying to start my own eBay store and do different things like that online. Then I also I've done blogging and I've done SEO. And then obviously I've done a lot of freelance work. I have my own agency where, we do custom web design and development work. And that's actually the one thing that stayed with me throughout my career in doing this. But, suffice it to say, there's a lot of different things that I've learned that don't work. I spent a lot of time figuring out how to overcome these barriers and knowledge for what needs to be done to have a successful online business. And it just so happened, a few months back, because if you follow my blog or you follow any of the content that I create, I have been working on doing some new stuff with funnels and product creation and those kinds of things over the last year and a half or so. And, it's been modestly successful, and I'm very grateful for that. And I've learned more over this last year and a half than I've learned in a really, really long time. And, but still, it's like, there's just something that's missing, because, doing online business isn't just doing sales funnels. And I know that's, that may come as a shock to some, but, being an online entrepreneur is more than just sales funnels. And so, here I am trying to figure these things out and think of what these, the various different pieces are. And, and it all came to me. Like I said, I was cleaning out my email one day, and, I was reading through some stuff, and I'm like, wow, that absolutely is it. So I got my notes out and scribbled it down as fast as I could, these ideas, and I started looking at what other people were doing. I'm like, yeah, Steve Larson has all 7 of these things. Russell Brunson has all 7 of these things. Michael Hyatt has all 7 of these things. Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield, Rick Mulready, anybody that that's doing business online and online entrepreneurship, they have all of these things. And so for me, it was like a really big deal to figure all this stuff out. So anyway, enough about all of that. That's kind of the story of how I've got here. So the idea, though, is to talk about these things and to, kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together so that you might be able to take something from this that might help you. I know I'm working through all these things as well. Like I said, this is a digital marketing adventure. I am by no means a guru, or some kind of, person that has it all figured out. But I will say this, I have been very successful in my online business. My online business has earned well over six figures over time. I've been very successful in my web development career and have been able to be part of some great teams that have built some really amazing websites. So I don't want you to think that I'm just kind of a new off the street guy who has just been kind of kicking this idea around for a couple months and, there's no background or no history. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. It's just the crystallization of these ideas over the last several months is something that's come together. And I think that everybody could learn from this, because if I would have had this list that I'm looking at right here in my notes when I first got started, it would have made things so much easier. I wish I would have had something like this, because it really spells out all of the various pieces of the puzzle that you need. So that's that. So what are these 7 pillars, and why am I calling them pillars? A pillar is something that holds something up, right? So if you think about like ancient Greek history and those magnificent columns that are holding up the various different structures that are still there over 2,000 years later. It's amazing, right? And they're supported by columns, among other things. But they are central to the integrity of the structure as a whole. And when it comes to online business, these 7 pillars, if you don't have one of these, something's definitely going to be out of whack. But if you do have all 7 of these, you're going to be moving in the right direction. So I think these are foundational. So if you are new, if you're new to online business, if you're new to blogging, if you are a brick and mortar store that for some reason is just now going online for the first time in the history of your business, these are the things that you need to know that are going to make your business successful. So that's that. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So the number 1 pillar, the first one that you're going to need to have in place for your online business is a great website. Seems kind of simple and straightforward to think about, right? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Having a great website is a great place to get started. But what I see a lot of times, and one of the challenges that I see with people that are new that are getting started, is they're putting all of their stock in one thing or the other. So for instance, they're starting their website on a platform that is not going to scale well with them. So that means something like Wix or Weebly or something like that, because it's easy for them to get started. And you see the commercials and hear the commercials on the radio and see all that stuff all over the place about how easy it is to create a website. Well, when something's got a barrier to entry that is that low, it's really not going to be something that's going to provide you the kind of scalable long-term platform that you need to have in order to build the right way. So you got to stay away from the wrong tools and make sure that you're starting with the right tools. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about here with the website is the reason you need a great website, among many other things, is that your website is your home base on the internet. If you haven't read Michael Hyatt's book Platform, I suggest highly that you go out and get that book immediately, because it details all of the various things that you need to do to build your online platform and why you need to build your platform on something like a self-hosted WordPress site versus a something else that somebody else controls the property. Because, for instance, what can happen is, it could happen that Wix would go out of business. It could happen that Squarespace would go out of business, something along those lines. What it ultimately means, though, is somebody else controls your home base, and you don't want to have that happen. So you want to be in control of your home base. And another reason for that is, for having a great home base, is you're building a brand. So think about this for a second. You are going online and you're trying to start your business, but you're not really sure where you're going, one of the things that you need to make sure that you know more than anything else is that it's a branding effort to get started. So, and you do that, like I said, by creating a great website. But if you think about those that are in the spaces that you may have heard of, take a look back and just try to grab a little snapshot of perspective to see what they're doing in their space. So for instance, Steve Larson is a brand, right? Capitalist Pig. He's got a website, and then he's got various different properties that are spokes off of that main hub. Pat Flynn and smartpassiveincome.com, that's a brand. He too has his central hub at smartpassiveincome.com, but he's got digital products, got physical products, and a variety of other things, books, all kinds of stuff. Pat's done amazing things online. I mentioned Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt is a brand, right? Michael Hyatt and Company. If you go to michaelhyatt.com, you'll see that Michael Hyatt has become a brand in himself. And again, it's all supported from his central home base. You go to michaelhyatt.com, that's all about him. It's his personality, it's his brand. And yes, there are different things that are going on now where other people are contributing to his site in a big way, and that's all well and good. But the point of the matter is that his home base is michaelhyatt.com, and he has built it into a brand, and he's written several different books. He's got several different courses. He's got physical products in his journals and a lot more. So another one, Amy Porterfield, same thing, Central Hub, great website. And then you go out from there for the various different course hosting platforms, lead pages, ClickFunnels, all that kind of stuff are all attachments to that central hub, that central home base that is so vital to a thriving online business. So, like I said, pillar number one, have a great website because you're building a brand, because you want to control the space, and you want to be able to build spokes off of that main hub. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you were with me, I see we've got some folks on now. If that makes sense, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or give me a comment or a like down there in the comments and let me know your thoughts on that. And so anyway, let's jump into pillar two. The pillar two is what goes into your website, which is simply great content. And what I mean by content is not necessarily the words on the page in terms of how they're communicated. We'll talk more about that later, but it's about publishing, it's about presence, and it's about proliferation. And what I mean by that is that you are creating great content and you're doing it all the time. That means that you have found your spot in the content creation game. It could be YouTube, it could be blogging, it could be podcasting, could be any of those things. What I decided to do in my case, I decided to do all three. I'm doing video now. I've got a YouTube channel at roborr.tv. I've got a podcast that is the digital adventures in digital marketing that I told you about before. And then I've got tons of blog content on my website. So I just decided, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do my best to go all in and to be everywhere I can, because the whole point of it is I need to make sure that I'm putting myself out there and that people can see and consume my content. But one of the other big points of doing this is that it gives me the opportunity to practice. I am no seasoned expert at doing video. I'm not a great writer. I am not great at podcasting. I record my podcast in the mornings on the way into the office when I'm driving in my car, and you probably hear the wind noise from the window, and my almost 20-year-old car probably doesn't sound very healthy on the podcast. But the point of the matter is that I'm producing that content and I'm practicing. I'm working at getting better on a day-by-day basis on the things that I am trying to do. So, and the audio from this video is going to ultimately end up on my podcast. So you'll be able to find it there too. So, like we said, figuring out, your publishing schedule, get something out, publish daily. That's what Russell Brunson challenges us to when we are in the One Funnel Away challenge, is to do something every day, to publish somewhere, to do something. And again, at the beginning, this is a great point that he made too, and Steve Larson really reinforced this on the coaching calls in the One Funnel Away challenge, is that the point is to, when you're just getting started, is to practice. You want to be working on practicing creating your content, because at the beginning, there's not going to be a lot of people paying attention, and it gives you the opportunity to find your voice, to refine your message, to get better at doing what you're doing. But it also forces you to commit to doing the hard work, to doing everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you are cranking out content on a regular basis. So does that make sense? So if you're new to this idea of content creation, I like to use this example. So think about it. If you were trying to learn how to play the violin, the first time you sit down to try to play the violin, you're probably not even going to know how to hold it. You're going to have somebody there that's going to teach you where to position the instrument, how to hold the bow, so on and so forth, as you learn how to do that. And then you're going to make horrendous sounds in the first few times that you're dragging that thing across the strings. And it takes practice, right? Guitar would be the same way. As you can see behind me, I am playing guitar and I love to play guitar. And, the first time I picked it up, though, when I was a teenager, it was awful. It was ridiculous. So, the whole idea, though, behind this publishing great content is to get your practice in, to put the reps in, to take the time to build the content creation muscles that you're going to need to use in order to create like you're going to need to create. So I hope that makes sense. I mentioned before, find what works best for you. If you like watching, you like video, then do video. If you've got a face for radio and don't want your face to be in the video, then do a podcast or do something. If you like to write, then write. I mean, that's what medium.com is all about, is being able to have a platform there for you that you can just publish to your heart's content and write all you want to write. And by the way, my stuff is on Medium as well. So find your Medium and publish often, publish early, and publish as much as you can for pillar number 2. So we're talking about being everywhere with our content and constantly creating. Now, moving on to pillar number 3. This is a big deal, and I see a lot of people struggle with this. So what happens is you get started blogging, you start creating content, you start videos, and then you don't necessarily know what the next step is. And you start thinking about affiliate products and stuff like that. But pillar number 3 is having an offer that you can present to your audience that is going to deliver value to those people. So this means your pillar here is the products that you offer for sale, or the products that you're an affiliate for that you're offering for sale. So the way I like to phrase it is like this: is you started your blog, you started your website, you're starting to build your brand. What is it that you can do with your knowledge, skills, and abilities that you're talking about because you're publishing about it every day? What is the product that coincides with that content that you're creating so that you can start to build income from your website? This is a big one that I see people struggle with. And I know for me as a web developer, it's something I struggled with for a long time. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I know how to do deliverable services. I know how to write web design and development contracts for big projects, right? $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $150,000, dollar website projects. I can do that part of it, right? But in terms of trying to find some ways to diversify what I'm offering, it took me forever to figure that out. And that was one of the things that really helped me over the last year when I started getting into some of the content that Russell creates through ClickFunnels. It started, Julie Stoyan is a web designer like me, and Kathy Olson is a web designer like me. And when I encountered them and saw what they were doing, I was completely blown away by the businesses that they had built around doing the same kind of thing that I had been doing for years. And I got to be honest, I was a little bit, put off. I'm like, man, what the hell have I been doing all these years, and all this time I've spent doing this, and these guys are killing it because they figured out a way to make that offer to their audience. So that's what I'm talking about here. So what can you deliver value? How can you deliver value to your target audience, to the marketplace? Is it a membership website? Is it a course that you want to create, a guide, or physical products like Michael Hyatt's planner? I thought that was a genius idea. Who's doing paper planning anymore? Not many people, but Michael Hyatt puts it out and suddenly everybody wants to have a paper planner now. You can write a book. That was one of the things that I did. My Ultimate WordPress book. This is a book that I created, to help people build and launch their website. What are the things that you can do in your space is what you need to be thinking about for how you can deliver value to your audience. And you may be thinking, well, I don't know what I can do to do that. And that's where affiliate marketing comes in. Or there are other people's products that you can learn how to promote through your home-based website that are going to help people get the results that they're looking for in their life with the content that they're consuming that you have been creating. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I know that there are a lot of different things that go into this, but like I said, I'm just introducing these topics. I'll go into more depth in future videos and future lives to talk more about these things specifically. But if you're with me, if this makes sense, give me a thumbs up, like this, give me some hearts or something, leave me a comment over here on the side and let me know that you are with me. All right. So moving on, we talked about pillar 1, which was a great website. Pillar number 2, which is creating great content and publishing all the time and being everywhere. Pillar number 3 is your offer. It's your product creation. It's your affiliate marketing that you're doing through your website. So now we're up to pillar number 4, which is your sales funnel. This is the delivery mechanism for the offers and the products that you create. So another lesson learned the hard way. Just because you put something on your website for sale does not mean that people are going to just find it and buy it. That just doesn't happen. Maybe it did at one point, I don't know, but it definitely doesn't happen anymore. So it is definitely, you can just get rid of that from your brain right now. You need to have a sales funnel and a way to deliver these products. And there's a science to that, and also an art really, when it's done really well. And it's really where the part of the, kind of whole online sales thing gets fun, because it's really exciting to create this stuff. It's exciting to see people that come in and become raving fans of your products. It's amazing. So you use your funnel to fill up your funnel. So years ago when I worked in sales, we were always talking about filling up your funnel. You always got to be filling up your funnel with qualified leads. And this was the time before internet marketing was really kind of a big deal. And, and I actually worked for a phone book company. You remember those things that are really, they used to be like this thick. They were huge. Now they're like this thick because nobody uses them anymore. But the idea was that we're always trying to fill up the funnel. And, as you go through the sales process, some people will fall out of the funnel, but you'll end up with a steady stream of sales that's coming out of the bottom of the funnel if you are continuously filling up your funnel with the right kinds of leads. So that is what your funnels that you're going to create on your website are for, is you're going to want to be capturing and consistently filling up your funnel with consistent leads that are coming in through your offer. So, and that goes into the whole concept of a value ladder, which we're not really going to get into in this video, but the idea is to make it easy for somebody to get in touch with you and get on your list so that you can nurture relationships with them and ultimately have the opportunity to provide them and sell them something that is going to help them get to where they're trying to go. So you build your funnel, your sales funnel, which is a part of it, but it is not the main hub of your website. It could live on its own domain, but your sales funnel is a part of your online presence. You know, at the beginning, we talked about having spokes that come off of that central hub, which is your main website. This is one of those spokes, and this is a really big one and a vital one. And you have to be able to make sure that you are building the right kinds of funnels to do business, to get things going. Does that make sense? So you need a lead magnet, you need a great offer, things that you can offer through your funnels, but it's really just a matter of making sure that you've got the mechanism to pull people through your value ladder online. All right, pillar number 5 is traffic. Without traffic, none of this stuff matters. It's completely useless to do anything, to do any of this stuff if you don't get traffic, right? I mean, it is what it is. Without traffic, you got nothing. So, but you think about it, the other side of that too is, what's the purpose of traffic, right? It's to gain exposure to your content, to build your audience and to tell your story, right? And to get people involved so that you can set the hook, right? So that you can build and nurture this relationship with these people. So, and then it naturally comes as the next step. The next question is, well, how do you build traffic? You build traffic through search optimization. You build traffic through social sharing and networking. You build traffic through paid traffic and ultimately from referral traffic too, going back to my old sales days. Again, referrals are one of the greatest sources that you could possibly have. So pillar number 5 is getting traffic to your site. And then there's a lot of things that you do with that, but I don't want to belabor this point. I think it's pretty self-explanatory that when we're talking about what the pillars of digital marketing really are, is that you absolutely have to have traffic coming to your website. All right. So number 1, build a great website. Number 2 is to create and publish great content and push it out. Pillar number 3 is your products that you've created or the way that you're delivering value in order to monetize your online work. Pillar number 5 is traffic. Pillar number 6 is the ability to convert that traffic. And if you remember earlier, I told you we'd come back to it. There's more to producing content than just creating it, right? And you have to have the ability to convert that traffic. So really the whole point of this part is building conversions, that you want to convert the traffic that you get to your website. So in order to do that, you have to put the right things in place in order to do that. Your pages on your website and in your sales funnel have to be built correctly. You have to have the right sales copy on the page. You have to have the right kind of persuasion language on there that's going to get people excited about what's going on that page. You have to be able to validate people's concerns, right? Russell Brunson talks about it in Expert Secrets, where you are working on validating their failures and throwing rocks at their enemy, right? And you do that with your own copy on your website to make sure that you are relating to people. Hope that makes sense. All right, so another big part of this is your email. So part of your home base is that you're capturing email. Part of that work is that you are making sure to nurture your list and that you are consistently communicating with them and working with them. So, but then you also need to know how to talk to their audience or the various different audiences. And there's 3 different types of traffic that you're going to see to your website in terms of the ability to convert it. So you're going to have cold traffic, you're going to have warm traffic, and you're going to have hot traffic. So, cold traffic is people that have never heard of you, that have never been exposed, and they're just kind of starting to get aware of what they might want. Warm traffic is a need that's known, but they don't necessarily know that you provide it. And hot traffic is traffic that there's an explicit need and they know that you can provide it, so that you've got to then provide them the messaging in the right way so that they will respond to the message accordingly and click the buy button, because that's what you want them to do. And that's what they need in order to be able to solve their problem, right? So pillar number 6 is this ability to convert that traffic. So, all right, let's recap. Pillar number 1, build a great home-based website. Pillar number 2, produce great content and do it all the time. Pillar number 3 is your products, right? What you're creating, what you are offering to the market that is going to help people to solve their problems. Pillar number 4 is the delivery mechanism. This is your sales funnel. So this is how you are monetizing the various different things that you're offering on your website. Pillar number 6 is conversions, right? The ability to convert the traffic. This is copywriting. It's learning how to speak to your audience. It's learning persuasion techniques, and it's generating excitement with the copy that is on your pages. And to wrap all of this up is your community and your audience. And, these aren't in any, kind of order, because, you want to always be working on building your community and building your audience, but, and it's not like the last thing that you should worry about. So don't worry about anything like that. The 7th pillar is building your community and building your audience. Number 1, your main focus here is to build your list, get people onto your email list and into your value ladder so that they can start scaling that ladder. You're also working here on building know, like, and trust. People don't buy from people that they don't know. They don't buy from people that they don't like. They don't buy from people that they don't trust, right? And so you're working in this community building aspect to build that know, like, and trust factor. And then you're working to nurture relationships online with these people. That's what it's all about. So you find out where your ideal customers are, you go to them, and then you serve them, you engage with them, you are talking to them, solving their problems, whether it's on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest or any of these other, places online where people are going and talking about the things that you can help with. You are there to serve and to ultimately, hopefully they will be, and there are ways to do this, but they'll follow you back so that you are able to continue to build the relationship and ultimately bring them into a sales relationship where you're able to provide solutions to their problems. So, and that means that you're joining Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, you can do in-person meetups if that's your thing. That's the whole kind of, you'll know when you start figuring out and you start learning who your ideal customer is, you'll start to figure out where they're at. So those are the 7 pillars of digital marketing. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, these were really like pieces of the puzzle that came together for me, made total sense. And it really was something that I'm like, man, because I've done all of these things individually. I just never saw the whole picture put together so clearly as I did several months ago when I was cleaning out my email. So I hope this is helpful to you. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your questions. You can find me here at Digital Marketing Mastery in this Facebook group. You can also find me at robward.tv. That's where my YouTube channel is. My blog, where it's my central home base online, is at robord.net, and you'll find my podcast there. You'll find my YouTube videos. You'll find all of the content that I produce is there. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. You can find all that stuff on my website as well. Would love to hear from you. If you got any questions or anything like that, or thoughts or feedback. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. So I know I'm going to be working hard in spinning up some additional stuff that is related to these 7 pillars, because I just think it's going to be so helpful to the community at large for people that are trying to do business, because I want to help people be free. I want to help people find some flexibility and some margin in their life so that they can build the life that they want to have and not be at the mercy of just a paycheck. So that's really my goal, and we'll talk more about that at another time. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Thank you for tuning in. For those who did, let me know on the replay. Just give me a hashtag replay or something like that if you're watching this on replay. Otherwise, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with me through this 40 minutes or so to talk about these various things. And I hope that you found something here that was helpful. And I hope that you will take action on whatever that is. So until next time, you guys take care. Bye.